We keeping it moving. And you know this. What's happening? Good Monday night to you. We going a little bit late tonight, but it's all good. Had a lot of stuff to go over this afternoon. That was fun. Um, had a little bit of news with the Eagles. Not a lot, but a little bit. We'll go over that in a minute. We're gonna go over some of these draft picks. Um, had some more. We even had some WNBA more news tonight, and I'm trying to avoid the headache that is the Sixers now. Do they have one game left? Is it a 5-game series or a 7-game series? I don't know. My focus is on the Eagles right now. It's crazy. What's up, Jason Sink? What's up, Cody K? First out the limo. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. We have some more probably filling in a little bit later. Um, just stuff going on in the state of sport. But it's funny when you start getting everybody's opinion on what's going on around the league, not just the Eagles. I'm looking at everything right now. And I just saw an article that was talking about Malik Neighbors. And he took somebody took a screenshot of his press conference in New York, right? And I'm not sure what his press conferences in college were, but he was very solemn, very matter of fact, very humble, and just speaking. But somebody took a screenshot and it just kind of looked like he had the gas face and wasn't all the way into the situation. That was not the case when you watch the interview. What's up, Don Vaughn? Thank you. Thank you on that, man. I do all my graphics. I'm a graphic designer by trade, so I do all of this stuff, and I got some new ones coming, bro. So I do appreciate that comment greatly. So I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, somebody said that like wasn't he wasn't into the press conference. He really didn't want to be with the Giants and like saying all this stuff. And I'm like, and then you hear the press conference. I'm like, this just sounds like a humble kid that's just trying to say the right things to get off on the right foot for his first press conference in New York City. And I bring that up because everybody on the outside looking in, everybody that's going to jump on Twitter and jump into the social media canal, they try to spin the narrative a little bit. When you listen to the kid is happy to be in the NFL. Just like I said, trying to put his best foot forward, and somebody wants to take that, spin it because he wasn't the pick that the Giants should have got, or because of what happened with Atlanta, maybe he should have went somewhere else. Just trying to spin the narrative, man, and just like everybody fall back for a minute. Everybody just fall back and let these kids enjoy their moment. Enjoy their moment. So neighbor, isn't it Malik Neighbors? Let me see. Could I be saying his name wrong? No, I think it's Malik Neighbors. Yeah, Malik Neighbors. He was the first pick for the Giants. You were a reggae promoter? Man, I did not have reggae promoter on that bingo card, man. So good for you, bro. Doing the graphics in the background, all the animations and stuff that they usually project on the back screen. I got you. You know what? I am not. My degree is in mechanical design and CAD, and graphic design became a hobby that I started at one of my jobs and just stuck with it. I was doing CAD work. It was boring me to tears, and I needed a more creative outlet. And it just so happened that at that particular job, and this was years ago now, we had just started using SolidWorks, which is a 3D CAD program for those that don't know. And I took some 3D CAD stuff, created an animation, and then just kind of got into the business that way. But yeah, man, Yeah, that's my degree, Eastern Kentucky. Uh, Mechanical design degree with a specialization in computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacturing. That was just a fancy way of saying, I work CAD CAM. So you majored in Freaknik. Yo, that's the funniest thing I heard all day, dude. You majored in Freaknik. That is hilarious. Some people ain't gonna understand that reference, but I do. I think I attended Freaknik only one time, and I was probably somewhere down there in a long line of alphas in somebody's parking lot stepping. So, um, yeah, you know how all the frats was representing down in Atlanta. My sister was in Atlanta, so I was down there with my twin. So Freaknik was crazy, bro. I you know what? I didn't watch the documentary. Whoever did that documentary, I haven't seen it yet. So you know what it was when you was down there. So it is what it is. And even when I was down there, I didn't go like downtown. I didn't go to the crazy parts. I was like, no, thank you. So, but anyway, that's funny, dude. That's just man. But you never know who you gonna meet, man. What's up, Doomsday? Appreciate you coming back. Oh, you was at Morris Brown. Okay. Okay. Me and my sister graduated. We twins, but she graduated a year before me because I was redshirted for football. She went to Kentucky State. I went to Eastern Kentucky. And then when she graduated, man, she hightailed it down to Atlanta. And she's been down there ever since. So yeah, man. Everybody at Morris Brown. Yeah, man. It was Freaknik. Golly. You brought back memories on that one, bro. Um, but yeah, but anyways, back on point. Back on point. Um, just it's funny what they do to these kids and try to turn the narrative. Um, it's just funny, man. It's just funny. Don Vaughn, you know what? For that comment, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a. I'm gonna give you a wrench, bro. You part of the family now, for sure. You part of the family after that one, man. Oh, you went to Southern Poly. Okay, okay. Yeah, it was all down there in Atlanta. You know, started at a homecoming. You know, because all you did was you ain't care about the football game. You just going to the step show. But all right, man. Because we get to talking about Freaknik, we'll be down. We won't get no football in. That might have to be a whole show in itself. But yeah, man. I saw that article and I was it's very crazy how people want to spin things, how people want to paint the narrative how they see fit, because you can do that now with social media. All you got to do is get enough likes and follows, and you can kind of lean people in one direction. It's not out of the realm of possibility anymore, man. But most people are still in their right mind. Most people still use common sense. And most people can still figure things out. I saw Nick Wright today. Speaking of that, and Nick Wright was kind of leaning into the opinion of, is Howie Roseman that good? Does he draft that good, or just do things just fall his way? And I would rebut with this: everybody, every GM in the league, anybody that's picking up a phone and making a draft pick has the opportunity to do their homework, do their research, and make the right decision for their team. Now, having said that, it is amazing, absolutely amazing, how many teams don't. Now, the reason, in my opinion, I think that Howie Roseman is so much better than everybody else is because he's taken his lumps. We can all go back and look at the whole Chip Kelly era and what happened to him. He took the corner office and had to lay low for a couple years and came back strong. and let everybody know what the right decision was. Chip Kelly was gone in 2 years. Howie Swope got back in, got his job back, and let everybody know I'm the man in town. Y'all did what y'all wanted to do. I sat back, I fell back, kept my hands in my pocket, and I let things play out. And that's the way I like to see things happen, because everybody's got an opinion. Everybody thinks they know everything. But at the end of the day, y'all know my famous phrase, everybody is just guessing. However, it is still imperative that you do your homework and that you do your research. Now, the research that these teams do, the investigating that these teams do, is off the chain. It's off the chain. They are sending people down on campus. I just heard last night on Shannon and Ocho's show, where and we'll get into that a little bit about the whole Spencer Rattler thing. But he was saying when it was his turn to be drafted, he said people were going back and asking his like elementary and grade school teachers about him. And it's like, why are you going to go back that far? Because that's the type of investigation you do on somebody you about to give $10 to $20 million to, especially when you're talking about quarterbacks or first round draft picks. I remember y'all remember how it went down with Jalen Carter last year. The truth of the matter is, if Jalen Carter is not involved in that accident that happened on campus after the national championship game, we would not have Jalen Carter. That's a fact. Everybody got scared away, but we sent some people down there, and I'm guessing, but I know we are thorough. We sent some people down there to do investigating, to figure out what was what and all of that kind of stuff. And they came back with a report that let Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, let them be comfortable and confident to make that pick. Because if that situation didn't exist, there is no way we'd have got Jalen Carter. No way. Doomsday, 100%, bro. 100%. Howie put his thing, he put his stamp on his draft, man. He put his stamp on his draft. Now, the one thing that I will agree with is that you still have to wait a bit. You still have to wait a bit. Texan Eagle, I'm right there with you, bro. The last 3 drafts alone, he has been killing them. He's always been the best at contracts and free agency. Absolutely. He's always looking a step ahead. Everybody's playing checkers. He's playing chess. He's always looking to improve his situation for next year. And when next year comes around, we're going to end up with way too many draft picks, and we're going to sell them off to get ready for 2026. That's the way Howie does business. And it's been working. It's been working. So the one thing you got to hesitate for, and again, you just got to let things play out, because look at, was Derek Barnett, people consider Derek Barnett a bust. I don't. He made enough plays for me. He made a play in the Super Bowl. That's enough for me to consider him. No, he's not a bust. He was a player. He just has some issues. And even that got blown out of proportion because he made plays. Brandon Graham, he was considered a bust till his 6th or 7th year. Then he finally started getting it together. You look at the last 7, 8 years of Brandon Graham, but look at the years before that. Look at years 1 through 5. Wasn't very good. And everybody thought we missed, but it happens when it's supposed to happen. And that's the thing that is getting lost in the sauce these days in the NFL is everybody wants instant. Everybody wants to just add water and have instant Pro Bowler. And it doesn't work that way, man. It just doesn't. And you can't expect these guys to just been able to flip it around and just dominate. And, you know, sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes you're going to get somebody like like Aaron Darnold, who came out the blocks and just was dominant from snap one. And then sometimes it takes some time. Sometimes it does take time, like somebody like Brandon Graham or Jason Kelce. It takes time. Jason Kelce was about to get cut. Jason Kelce was a walk-on running back in Cincinnati. And then he switched to offensive line. He was a walk-on running back from Cleveland. Now we end up with a Hall of Fame center who is basically the face man for this city right now. If it ain't Jalen Hurts, it's Travis Kelce still. I'm sorry, Jason Kelce. Not Travis and Tay. It was Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce, the last, 3-4 years of his time here, he took over as the face of Philly. Doing the stuff down at the shore, chugging beers, all of that kind of stuff. And just the last 2 years, he just figured out a way to take it to another level. Jason Kelce is one of those dudes it's hard not to like him. His brother, I can see why you don't like him, because he was a knucklehead. And you could tell he's got that in him. But he's mellowed out a little bit. He's getting to the point where he's hard not to like. Because he's following it. He's trying to follow his big brother. You can tell that. Now he got Jason got the ESPN deal. I think that was announced today, or the rumors were anyways. But he's the new face of the I want to see Jason Kelce and Whitworth, the guy from the Rams that played till he was like 40 years old. So yeah, man, it's just amazing how things work out, and you just gotta wait until your term hits. It don't happen right away, but in this landscape, if you don't immediately go to the Pro Bowl, everybody thinks you're a dud. I heard some stuff on the radio today when they was talking about Jordan Davis. It's like, I don't know about him. Is he a good pick? And I was like, damn, Skippy, he was a good pick. Why would you think he wasn't? Like, because he doesn't have 12 sacks and 6 fumble, tackles for losses. And, it's like you got to let these kids take their lumps, man. You have to. And in this landscape of media right now, everybody is so impatient. Everybody is so impatient. I really want to see, what's his name? I really want to see Caleb Williams succeed. But there is part of me that I actually feel I'm like, screw the Bears. Y'all did Justin Fields wrong. You never gave him no help. The offensive line was crap. You traded away your defense. You had 2 head coaches and 3 offensive coordinators. That kid's head was spinning. And I keep saying this. If y'all look at his tape at Ohio State, that kid stood in that pocket and was slinging that thing. He was not a running quarterback at all. He got to Chicago and is running for his life. And then you got a nerve to trade him away. Now you want to get all of these pieces together for Caleb Williams. And it's like, man, y'all dirty SOBs. The NFL is not fair at all. And they will forget about you in a hot second. So, Kenny Pickett was the draft pick 2 years ago. Now he's a backup already. You couldn't even let the kid get like 3-4 years in. And I tell you what, you look at the way this stuff is flowing. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. It was in the stars. And again, props to Howie Roseman. And I guess Doug Peterson may have had a little bit of something to do with this as well, but you gotta, the stars were aligned that we got Jalen Hurts. We got a player that was used to having multiple coordinators. And then what happens when he gets here? He done had 3 coordinators in his tenure here since he was a starter. Peterson, Brian, and then Brian Wilson, and then what you call it, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's or Shane Steichen. So he's on his fourth. He's on his fourth. So Peterson was one, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, and now he's on Kellen Moore. So, but it's interesting how they do things and how they spin things. Now, while we on quarterbacks, I did want to bring up the situation with Spencer Rattler. I don't know if y'all heard that story. Again, they were talking about this, Shannon and Unk, or Shannon and Ocho. I remember seeing that quarterback show or whatever where Spencer Rattler was on that coming out of high school. He was the top quarterback in the country, I believe it was. And you know what? He did seem like he was an asshole. Let's make that point very clear. He did seem like he was a little bit of an asshole in that little space. But now all of these reports coming out that's why you don't draft a kid. You done drafted, these people have drafted kids, guys that mean assault troubles. They got charges. What I guess the question is, why is it a issue now? Why is it an issue now when y'all drafted Johnny Manziel? And why is it an issue now when y'all drafted Jameis Winston after he stole the crabs from the Publix or whatever it was? Why is it an issue now? Because the kid did a 17-year-old kid did a reality show and he acted like a damn 17-year-old kid. He 21 years old, 23 years old now. That was 6 years ago. And you gonna hold that against them, and people, and that's the type of stuff, and I will say it, that's the type of shit that goes into favoritism, colorism, racism, all of the isms you could think of. And you got to call it like that. It was like there's been a ton of people that have done much worse than Spencer Rattler because he acted like a kid on a reality show. Because that show came out before NIL was the thing, right? And kids can't handle that. It's hard enough being the big man on campus in high school. Now you put that kid on a national stage, everybody ain't made for that. The same thing. They just want these kids to be instant grown-ups and adults and all of that kind of stuff. And he was an asshole on that show. But I'm going to guess 6 years later, he's probably grown up a little bit. And people still want to bring up stuff that happened 6 years ago. And for scouts and stuff to say, teams didn't want to touch him because they had a bad taste in their mouth because of that reality show. Really? You want to do that? And we got teams that sign people that were beating their spouses and all the type of trouble that these teams know. Just like I was saying a couple minutes ago about the Eagles doing their investigation and doing their homework on whether or not to draft Jalen Carter. All the teams do that. Not just the Eagles. Now, the Eagles might be a little bit more thorough than some teams, but all these teams do their homework. All these teams got contacts in every school, and they send people down there. They do send people down there to watch somebody on campus, unbeknownst to them. Let me see how you operate on campus. Let me see how you operate, at the frat party or something like that. Are you acting a fool? What are you going to do? Because we need to know that if we about to drop 10 mil on you. That's the level of stuff that they are getting to. So you gotta be smarter than that. But there's people that'll think of every excuse in the world not to draft somebody, just like they will think of every excuse in the world to draft somebody. I gotta go and listen to I might make that a plan for going on for a couple days this week. I might go and listen to Atlanta radio because I want to hear what the Atlanta Falcons fans are thinking about their draft pick, Michael Penix. And when you got $100 million man, Kirk Cousins, that man signed a $185 million deal with $100 million guaranteed. And then you take a first-round quarterback in the draft. Like, I want to hear that thought process. I want to hear that explained to the Atlanta faithful down there, all the Dirty Bird fans down there. That's what I want to see. Cody K, I'm with you 100%. The reality shows are scripted. They are produced. It's a production. However, they still control the narrative because everybody, eats that stuff up. So you're not wrong, but most people don't think logically anymore. They believe exactly what they see. They don't do any homework. It's funny now because, like I was talking earlier, now that I'm in the graphics and stuff like that, I mean, I've been into that stuff in 3D animation, and I'm using Blender and Unreal Engine. I'm doing all of that kind of stuff. But now I'm seeing, you see all of these AI videos, and to me, it's like easy to tell what's AI and what's real. And now I just saw yesterday because they had all of the tornadoes in Oklahoma and Nebraska, and now what they're doing is people are taking real clips from the tornadoes, but they're putting a fake tornado in the video, in real video clips. So they'll take, like, somebody's filming, it's a distance and this is the aftermath or something like that, and they'll superimpose a fake 3D tornado in the scene. That's what people are doing now. So damn space bar. So yeah, man, it's funny, man, and it's very interesting to see how all of this stuff is mixing together. I was very interested last year on Amazon. If any of you guys ever watched the Amazon broadcast and you see that they have they got graphics now on the screen and this is AI generating and doing the math all in real time, and graphics will pop on the screen and it'll highlight certain defensive players, and it'll tell you the percentage that exists whether or not this particular player is going to blitz on this down and distance. So that was interesting because when you're dealing with data like that, the more it accumulates, the more it's going to get right. And in this age of betting and all that other kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, I don't understand how that can be a thing where you can anticipate where the blitz is coming from. Now, Don, that's very high praise for Mr. Penix, but yeah, you have to. I would encourage you to fall back on that one because it's not going to be another Michael Vick for a while. Not going to be another Michael Vick for a while. But Don, I'm going back to your other thing about Kellen Moore. I would disagree. I think he is interested in being a head coach. And depending on what happens this year, I'm hoping he gives us at least 2 to 3 years with Jalen. I'm hoping that because you look at Tom Brady, you look at who else? I'm trying to think of. You look at obviously Patrick Mahomes. You look at who can I think of? Well, I probably have to go back. You look at Troy Aikman's probably not a good one. I'm trying to think of quarterbacks that have had been in the same system for a long period of time. When Joe Montana was in San Francisco, he was in the same system for a long time. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, that's another Andy Reid product, but that's why Patrick Mahomes is so good. I said this last year when Shane Steichen's second year with Jalen Hurts. And I expected Jalen Hurts to be much better. And the way I phrased it was because he's coming back for the first time in his career and he's got the same offensive coordinator. So he's already got all the answers to the test. So just imagine if we could have kept Shane Steichen a little bit longer. I have no doubt we would have went back to the Super Bowl. Because when you're in the same system year after year after year, if you're a quarterback and you're in the same system for your third year, you should be doing things a hell of a lot better. And that's what we were hoping for with Jalen, but it just didn't work out that way. Brian Johnson just wasn't it. And I know Nick Sirianni kept trying to say this was the same offense we had been running. And it just wasn't working. So maybe it is the guy that's calling the plays. I don't know. Absolutely, S. Blunt. Winning produces head coaches. Absolutely. Unfortunately, those head coaches go to other places. We are in a weird situation right now because I don't mind a CEO coach. I don't mind that. Jimmy Johnson was a CEO coach. Bill Parcells was a CEO coach. There's some good Hall of Fame coaches and some good examples of people that's CEO coaches. And there's good examples of the flip side of that. Everybody can't be a CEO coach. And the flip side of that is the coaches that concentrate are the coaches that are offensive gurus and look at Shanahan and coaches like that. Sometimes you can lose yourself into that. Because if you're a head coach, there's so many things that's going on the sideline. It is unreal. Unreal. And to have to keep up with all of that can be very difficult. So there's nothing wrong with a CEO coach. I think Sirianni, people get stuck on the wrong thing. I think there was people that just didn't like Sirianni or don't like Sirianni, and they are looking for a reason to bitch, moan, and complain. But I see no problem whatsoever with him being the CEO coach. Matter of fact, I expect that decision to pay dividends. So, yeah. They are moving to play calling head coaches, but that is a very difficult endeavor. That is a very difficult endeavor. And what happens if it don't work? Now you got to give it up anyways. Now, if it's not working, because here's the thing. If it doesn't, if you give up, if you call in the plays and you suck at it, that's the quickest way to get promoted to fan, right? Or get demoted back to assistant coach. If you can't call, look at what they did to the dude before Peyton got there, before Sean Payton got to Denver. What was it, Nathaniel Hackett down in Denver? It just, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And who's to say when Kellen Moore finally gets this opportunity, who's to say he's going to be a good head coach? Who's to say Cliff Kingsbury is going to be a good head coach? Or any of these guys that get their first shot? It is a difficult endeavor to be a head coach and all of the shit you got to worry about on the sideline. There is a lot going on. So you got guys in the booth. You got guys on the sideline. It is not a lot of people make jokes about this, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. Matter of fact, don't be surprised if you see more and more teams start to do this. Maybe you won't see it at first or you won't recognize what you're seeing. But when it came out, when they made the statements about Big Dom kind of keeping Sirianni in check, I can understand that. That's just the way that has evolved. But there's always been like the coach's son or a cousin or a friend or somebody they've coached with that is always pulling on the coattails of the coach. coach is concentrating over here, and you got somebody on your side. Usually, it's the guy that's holding the. They used to hold the power box for the headset, and they would follow the head coach everywhere. And every now and then, guys used to do that when I was playing. They pull hey, you got to get off the field because, they got that line and the coach ain't supposed to go on the field and all that. So there would always be a guy that pull them back. Just to remind us, like, hey, coach, he's calling timeout. Or a coach trying to talk to a player. Coach, we got somebody hurt on the field. Like, different ways to just tug on you just to keep you in the game and not get you so focused. There is a lot of merit in that. And there is a lot of value in that. Again, because so many things going on. Get back. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. The Birdman is in the building. I'm with you 100%, bro. I believe you. The biggest thing I want to see from Kellen Moore is, number one, motions, confusing the defense, making them shift to adjust to what we're doing. And number two, play action. True play action. And I would love to see Jalen Hurts under center a little bit more. If he's not under center, I want to see more pistol formation. I need that running back behind our QB, not in gun. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Not in gun formation. Limit the gun. We'll have plenty of opportunities to run gun formation, but if you run in true play action, you got to have that running back behind the quarterback. You got to make that quarterback stick his hand out one way or the other to get them linebackers moving. Any of you have been with me for a while, I'm beating a dead horse. I talk about this all the time. As a running back, play action is so important. It helps us out with pass protection, makes us a little bit easier in pass protection because a linebacker will break down thinking you're the ball carrier, or just that little half a pause or half a hesitation makes our job blocking that much easier. So, Blunt saying, need to see a mix of options of who we go to in this offense. We can't just go to AJ, Devontae, Dallas. Look at the 49ers. Everyone eat. That's true. That's true. And some of the weapons we just got, I'm just hoping that, Kellen Moore is just setting up his chessboard and wants to unleash. That's what I'm hoping, man. Because we got AJ's going to be there. Dallas is going to be there. Devontae's going to be there. Saquon's going to be there. Then we got this kid, Aeneas. What's the last name? Aeneas Smith. Then we got Shipley, but Shipley's going to be, every time Saquon comes off the field, I believe Shipley's going to, probably take Kenny Gainwell. But I keep saying this, man. Every time somebody tried to take Kenny Gainwell off the field, it has not worked out. Because for some reason, he seems to ball when it's time to ball. So don't automatically count Kenny Gainwell out. I don't know if he'll turn into trade bait, but that's a win-win situation because if he plays well, he is trade bait, or somebody will make a move to get him because somebody's going to need a running back. And if Shipley's even better, then, he's better. So that's a win-win for us. So it's going to be a lot of competition. And I don't even like saying that now, the competition in camp, because they don't hit. That's what I'm worried about. They don't hit in camp. So it's hard to see what you got. I want to see Shipley shake some people. I said that this afternoon, man. Shipley's biggest asset is that he can shake you. He can make you look stupid, but he gets back vertical. He gets back north and south with the quickness. And that's what you want for running backs. You want them going north and south, not east and west, which is why I hate the gun formation. Robert, man, I hope you ain't one to fall into that AJ is a diva stuff on the sideline. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, bro. That kind of stuff happens on every sideline at every game. Trust me. If it ain't AJ Brown, it's somebody else. A running back, it's somebody on the defense, it's somebody hooting and hollering. I don't know why everybody just chose to focus on AJ. And you got to remember, let's just say you're correct. Let's just say that he was getting mad because he wasn't getting the ball. Let's just say you are correct. I mean, the only thing he did was rattle off the best 5-game streak in NFL history. I mean, that's all he did. So if that is what a diva does, yes, please, can I have another? So don't fall into the media hype and people putting their opinions into something they know nothing about. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. If he didn't say nothing, if he wasn't the leader, if he was, everybody would have a problem with it. You would be like, sorry, he's got to be able to, put some life into the locker room and all of that stuff that people think just automatically happens. And it's like some people that put these stories out there, they have zero idea of how a locker room dynamic works. So, exactly. Say it again for the people in the back. If he was that much of a problem, and all of these people that get the knee-jerk reactions and all of that kind of stuff, I'm not going to name any names, but you watch enough content to know the people that cover the Eagles and all of that kind of stuff. And there's so many knee-jerk reactions now. The slightest thing, and it's like, well, why would he be doing this? And as I always say, man, I would love to see some of these guys coaching. One of the best things that I saw last year, because I watched the USFL and I watched the XFL. And a lot of those coaches were former players that think they know everything. And they got embarrassed. And it was a stark reality that coaching is a difficult endeavor. Even if you are a Hall of Fame player, even if you had a great career, you just can't step on the sideline and just think you're going to just do a great job. They tried to, you saw what happened with Jeff Saturday. You can come out good and you can maybe get lucky, but at the end of the day, it's going to come back to bite you if you not the right dude for that job. So a lot of people got exposed in the XFL and the USFL, and it's like, just because you were a great player in the league does not mean you are a great coach. Jason, I'm with you, man. You do want competitive dudes. But what you need in a locker room is you must have a balance. You must have a balance of personalities in the locker room. That's the only way it can work. Everybody can't be a rah-rah guy. Everybody can't be like Brandon Graham coming out there and super hyped and talking smack. And if everybody was like that, the team would be garbage. It would not work. It just wouldn't work. Too many alphas in the room, too many cooks in the kitchen. So there's got to be some people that got to be a worker bee. There's got to be some people that don't really like to talk much. I just like to get on the field. That's why you guys have heard me say this before. That's why I was so sad when we got rid of Haason Reddick. I understand why they had to do what they had to do, but Haason Reddick is the guy I wanted to keep because he was somebody in the locker room, very intense. You ever seen a Haason Reddick interview? He don't mince words, but he don't say a lot either. He's not looking to talk. If you ask him a question, he gonna answer it. He gonna keep it 100 with you, and he gonna keep it moving. Blunt, you 100% right. Now you take that and you flip it a little bit. Now you got CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now you got big play Slay. Now you flip it on the other side. Now you got Jalen Hurts. And for every Jalen Hurts, you do need somebody like AJ Brown that's kind of going to walk in the middle and talk smack with you when he need to. He'll get into the face of a DB and let them know what's what. Even you look at that the 2022 year when we went to the Super Bowl. You had Slay, CJ Gardner-Johnson, then you had Bradbury, then you had Haason Reddick, then you got Fletch. Josh Sweat really wasn't a talker. He'd do his little, thing when he got a sack, but he wasn't somebody that was out there chirping. Fletch was, BG was, but BG was on the pitch count, so he wasn't on the field all the time. He did most of his talking in pregame. But when he got on the field, so you need the quiet types and you need the loud, boisterous types. Jalen Hurts don't really say much, but you see him getting hyped when it's time to get hyped. Before the game, bringing all the troops together, get that rah-rah speech and keep it moving. But you don't want your quarterback like that. You need somebody that can think under pressure. Pressure does two things: bust pipes and make diamonds, right? You need somebody that's cool, calm, and collected under pressure. You never really see Devontae Smith getting too high or too low. So you need that even keel and you need that balance. So yes, you can have some dogs, but guess what? The most dangerous dog is the one you don't see coming. Sneak up behind you and bite you in the ass. So we are in good shape. We got a good balance of personalities, and we gonna have them dogs. The dogs that you want to see is you want to bring out these young guns. Because if you remember camp last year, who was the leader of all the rookies last year? At least from my opinion, the leader was Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith kind of established himself as the leader of that rookie class. He had Jordan together, and Jordan was a year ahead of him. But he got everybody together, and it worked. He just didn't get a chance to play a lot. So now he's got another opportunity to establish himself, because now he's going to get more playing time, and we are really going to see what's what. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's going to talk smack. He's going to jump in everybody's face. I just need him to stay healthy. Think about it. Our whole offense is pretty even keel. Saquon Barkley is not a talker. He pretty much keeps it, keeps it low key. Sidney Brown, absolutely. That's a good one. Sidney Brown don't say much. Just come in there and make plays. Reed Blankenship don't really say much. So Carter's gonna do that. Carter. See, here's the thing. And maybe this is something that it can become a big problem if somebody starts chirping too soon. And I remember in every professional camp I've ever been in, when I was with the Eagles, when I was in, I spent a hot second with the Panthers. I was in Jacksonville with Camp Coughlin. Even when I was in the World League. Every year, every camp, you got a couple of guys, and all they do is talk. And the reason why they do that is because they just want to make sure everybody knows who they are. This has nothing to do with are they making plays on the field. They are the ones that are always loud and chirping. You make a tackle, and everybody in camp knows it, and they screaming and hollering. If there's a fight, they're either the one starting the fight or they're jumping in the fight. But every team has these guys. Most of the time, they end up getting cut, or they end up getting taped to the goalpost. Let me keep that real with you. That whole thing when you hazing and all of that kind of stuff, there's always a guy in camp that he just talks too much. Sometimes it can be a draft pick. Sometimes it can be a free agent. You never know. But I do know this. When you find out who that guy is and they don't shut up, you get tired of hearing them. So, and I'm saying that because you don't want to put too much on Carter to be a vocal leader or something like that, and he ain't earned it yet. Because they will call you on the carpet with the quickness. Like, why you chirping so much and you got 1 tackle in 6 games? Like, especially all of that stuff comes out in the wash when you go to film study. That's the one thing I wish just had an opportunity to see some things from the outside looking in. I wish sometimes you guys could see what really goes on in film sessions. Film sessions is basically that is the personality of your team behind closed doors. Film sessions can be brutal. Guys are roasting you. Coaches are cussing you out. You might have played a great game, but the one play you screwed up on, they're going to run that play 10 times and make you feel that small because you made that one mistake. You might have had 11 good plays and 1 bad play. They're going to run that 1 bad play back 8 times, 18 times. I've been in film sessions where guy makes a mistake and they run it back like for 10 minutes, talking about what to do and we practice this and what, just basically embarrassing the guy. And that's not just for that happens to vets, first-year players, second-year vets. It doesn't matter what your class is. Good coaches will call you out. So good leaders, you get to a point where the vets in the room know what's supposed to be going on and they'll help you out. But where that gets messed up is, once again, you always got those guys that just talk. And those are the guys that get cussed out. Those are the guys that get taped to the goalpost. My rookie year, Tony Brooks. Most of y'all probably won't remember him. Tony Brooks was a running back from Notre Dame. He was a good running back from Notre Dame. I took his spot. It was Tony Brooks and Saran Stacy. Tony Brooks was from Notre Dame. Saran Stacy was from Alabama. And it was me and Vaughn Hebron. I went to Eastern Kentucky. Vaughn Hebron went to Virginia Tech. And we both undrafted free agents, and we took both their spots. And Tony Brooks was one of those ones that liked to talk in camp. And one day they got him. He was talking all that smack. A couple of the vets came up behind him, dump him with Gatorade, wrap him up in tape. You come up behind him, somebody grabs you up top, somebody grabs your legs, and you tape the feet together real quick. Then they log carry you over to the goalpost, put you at the goalpost with your hands and your feet tied, and then they wrap you again with athletic tape around the whole goalpost. Now, mind you, when all of this happening, you got the crowd out there, you got the media out there, so everybody got cameras. Now, back then, there wasn't no camera phones, so it was just the local media to see that. But when the local crowd saw that stuff, you knew there was a problem with that dude. So, yeah, you can't do that no more, man. It's a wonder they still make them sing. That was the thing they made us do. They didn't get too crazy with it. They made us sing in camp, and then they made you do the we had like a rookie talent show. So most people are good with it. Most people they try to have fun with it, but you can have people that take it too far. And there's always one rookie I ain't about all of that, man. You can't play me and all of that kind of stuff. Blunt, yes, I did play with Herschel Walker. Yes, I did. Herschel Walker, James Joseph, Heath Sherman, and then myself, Vaughn Hebron. Those were the running backs, 93, 94. And then 94, I got cut, and they drafted Charlie Garner. So yeah, man. Herschel was cool, too. Herschel was real cool back then, man. So this was before the politics came up. But, yeah, Herschel was cool. So, but, yeah, man, you got to, when it comes to being a vocal leader, It's got to be natural. The last thing you want is a rah-rah guy that nobody wants to listen to. So, yeah, man, it's you got to be in there, man, and you can't be fake. That's when all of that stuff came out about Jalen Hurts, I was like, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't tell somebody. You can't tell them, I need you to be more vocal. You can't tell somebody that publicly. Because if you tell them publicly, then everybody thinks the only reason you're doing it is because somebody told you to do it. That was the problem with the people calling out Jalen Hurts' personality and all that other nonsense they were talking about. That's the problem with that. They can't tell you to do it. It has to be natural. It has to be you are a born leader, and people will follow you. I was not a very boisterous guy. I just knew when it was my time to shine and you put the ball in my hands, I'm going to let my feet do the talking. My lessons were learned in college. When I went to college, everybody in college, now mind you, I went to Eastern Kentucky. Everybody in college was from Georgia or Florida. You hear about all them athletes all the time that maybe the grades wasn't good enough to go to a big school, or maybe they got in trouble or whatever. Eastern Kentucky was one of them schools where we would get all of them for whatever reason. We had a ton of athletes from Georgia and Florida, good ones. And I was from right down the street in Cincinnati, Ohio. And when I got to college, nobody thought I was going to do anything. And when I got my opportunity to get on the field, I didn't step off the field. Matter of fact, here's a fun fact for you. I was a backup tailback, and I was behind Tim Lester. If any of you know about the Steelers, Tim Lester was a fullback with the Steelers. He blocked for like 8 years for Jerome Bettis. They used to call him the bus driver. He blocked for Jerome with the Rams because he was drafted with the Rams. And then he was when Jerome went to Pittsburgh, Tim Lester followed him in Pittsburgh. He passed away a couple years ago. But Tim Lester was the fullback in front, was the tailback. He was a tailback at Eastern Kentucky. And then he tore his knee. We were here playing Delaware State. So we were right up the street. He got hurt. I came in, and I never left the field after that. Matter of fact, when he healed up, they brought him back as a fullback, not a tailback. So I didn't talk my way into that situation. You gotta earn your keep and earn your way up there. So all these people talking about personalities and being vocal leaders and all of that kind of stuff. And that's why I said from the rip, Jalen Hurts needs to do exactly what Jalen Hurts is doing. Nothing else. Don't change a thing. That same Jalen Hurts that y'all got a problem with his personality was the same Jalen Hurts that set records in the Super Bowl. Yes, that is my name, my man. Absolutely. So you got to be careful when people asking for that stuff. You got to be careful when you're asking for that stuff, because people that don't follow football or don't understand how a locker room works, that sounds good to them. You got to be a vocal leader, and he's not. You can't be a soft-spoken quarterback of a team. And I'm like, why not? If he's taking you down on the field, if his red zone percentage is super high, and he's effective and getting rid of the ball in a timely manner and hitting people on time, what's the problem? And people try to throw their idiosyncrasies on other people because that's what they want, and they don't always work that way. So yeah, Bermudians went to Delaware State. Yeah. Matter of fact, when we were Delaware State and I'll never forget this, Tennessee State. So we played, because back then Eastern Kentucky, we were part of the Ohio Valley Conference. But when we played Tennessee State, I'll never forget, our coach was so pissed off at us. We played Tennessee State. Now, y'all know Tennessee State is a historically black college. And we out there warming up, and the band come in. Bet on yourself. What's going on, my guy? So we at Tennessee State, and the band comes in. Now, mind you, I'm in college in 89 to 93. Those are my years at Eastern Kentucky. So we are warming up. The band is coming in, and they are playing Too Short cuss words. The band is playing that tune as they are entering the stadium. So, of course, all the brothers on the team, we dun 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 dun. We heads bobbing. Man, our coach, we finished warming up and went into the locker room before the game started. Our coach, Coach Kidd, cussed us out. You better get your head in the game. And then fast forward when we went to Delaware State, same thing happened, but we were a little bit more about business that game. So yeah, man. I appreciate that, Jason. You know. I'm gonna find some of my highlights and play them one day. One of these days. I'm gonna get everything together, put a tape together. And I know I found my what was it? I found some of my Eagle stuff and I put it on YouTube. I put this stuff on YouTube like years ago, but you can tell how horrible the video footage is. I can't even find my YouTube channel. Good grief. Let me see if I can there we go. I thought we was in there. Hold on, can I find it? Can I find it? View my channel. There we go. I got 59 videos and 27 subscribers on this channel. I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna create a new intro. But let me see. I got stuff from I got video footage when I was at I went to a NASCAR race up in Dover. Hold on for a second. Let me see. Come on, can't see them. Videos. No, they in here. Okay, here we go. I should have just put one video together, but I made a whole bunch of clips. But all right, let me see. Let me see if I can bring y'all into this. Hold on. Don't y'all be laughing at me. Hold on. Let me see. Let me bring you into this. There we go. So let me drop me down a little bit. All right. So this is an 18-yard run versus the Falcons. Look how bad that is. Look how bad that image quality is. That's me running the route. That was against the Falcons. This is the game where I actually made the team. So you can see how bad that is. And then let me see. I scored a touchdown. Let me see. I think I went around the outside and just beat him to the corner. Yep. With Richie K back in the day. Let me see. I'll find one more. Let me see if I can find one more. Hold on. I'm gonna find one more. Me and Doug after the Super Bowl. All right, I'm gonna find one more. All right, this is a. You know what? I'm gonna do the 25-yard pass from Randall. This is from Randall Cunningham. I'm the tailback. Look at that. I wasn't even 7 yards deep. I should have scored on that play. I was mad that I didn't score. Should have scored. So. Oh my God. Hit that hole. Absolutely. Yeah, man. That was Casey Weldon. Yes, it was. From Florida State. Casey Weldon. I got to get that play. I found it on one of my mini DV tapes. Casey Weldon threw me. Was that Casey Weldon or was that Preston Jones? Because we had Casey Weldon was from Florida State, and we also had Preston Jones from Georgia. I think it was Preston Jones. And we were in the American Bowl at Tokyo. And it was kind of a broken play because I went up to block the end, but nobody came. So I kind of just bounced back like as a check down. And he got pressure and dumped the ball to me, and I turned it into like a 45-yard run or something. That was in the American Bowl in Tokyo. So, yeah, fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. Yeah, man, I'm gonna show some stuff, man. I gotta get the stuff together, put an intro together, get some better quality tape. NFL Film sent me a disc with my highlights on it, and they sent one play. It was one play. It's two plays. I got a run, our own goal line coming out. I had like a maybe 5 or 6 yard run, and then I caught a swing pass from Bubby Brister. So, but yeah, that's some good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, Shay, what you talking about? Spoken like a true graphic designer. Yeah, man. Oh, you talking about the quality of the video clips? Yeah, dude. That's matter of fact, the quality I got on my mini DV tapes that I got in the closet somewhere is much better than what I put on YouTube. Absolutely. One of these days I'm gonna go back up to NFL Films and see if I can, because a lot of that stuff is from preseason because I didn't really play in regular season. I was one of those guys that I was on the active roster, and they traveled me to most of the games. And then Heath Sherman was hurt, but he was like iffy. So they would like it was Herschel Walker and James Joseph that was starting. And Vaughn was getting a little bit of playing time. And they would always travel me, and I would go out, get dressed, warm up, do all of that kind of stuff. And then right before the game, they would make me inactive. And I would go back in, put my clothes on, and I would be one of those dudes that you see on the sideline with a security medallion on, watching the game, bringing people water and all that kind of stuff. They did that to me for the whole season. They wouldn't let me play special teams. None of that. One of the biggest like moments for me. I walked in Kotite's office one day, and I was like, because we had that game that year, '93. Randall got hurt. Randall tore his knee in against the Jets. That's that game. If you go back and look at Eric Allen's like 73-yard interception, pick six against the Jets, that's the game. Randall tore his knee, and when Eric Allen had that pick, Randall Cunningham was coming out of the tunnel on crutches, and Eric Allen gave him the ball. So, we had a lot of injuries. Kenny Rose was our special teams captain. He broke his ankle. Byron Evans, his ankle was messed up. I think they had Seth Joyner at the time was playing on special teams. And I remember I went into Kotite's office, and I was like, Coach, like, why do we have defensive starters playing special teams? Like, that shouldn't be the case. And I was like, yo, let me go out there and do kickoff coverage. I can bust up a wedge. Like, let me go up there and do that. And they didn't let me do it. They didn't let me do it. So, yeah, man. Matter of fact, it was a couple of games where the Eagles would play. I know there was a couple games where the Eagles would play before the Phillies, I think, or it was like the day before or something like that. So we would, a lot of times after practice, we would stay at the vet and watch the Phillies take BP sometimes. So Yeah, we used to see them in there all the time. All that kind of stuff, man. It was fun. It was fun back then, man. But yeah, couldn't get Kotite to let me on the field, man. I could have did some things on special teams. Could have made a tackle, but he wasn't having it. So you see what happened to him. So so what it is, man. 93 was fun. I'll tell you what, man. The one thing, and I tell people this all the time, like when I see, I am very cognizant of all of our draft picks when we bring them to the NovaCare Center and they walk in and they go to the film room and all the staff is there and they applaud them coming in and all of the fanfare they get now. And I see walking into the facility and they always take the pictures with the big screen in the background with the name. They sitting at the desk signing the contract and they make it an event. And I see that now, knowing that now, today, after Jeffrey Lurie bought the team, the Eagles are a destination team for veterans because we have the facilities, we got everything looks good. We're a good organization now. And I remember how it was in 93. And I remember some of the comments we used to get. We signed when Bubby Brister came, when Michael Carter came from San Francisco. Tim Harris was here from San Francisco. Keith Millard had came from the Vikings. The Fridge was on our team at the time, coming from Chicago. So we had guys that had come from other places, and they would come to the vet, and they was like, this is a shithole. I remember Tim Harris was like, what the hell is this? Because he's coming from San Francisco, had a couple Super Bowls, all of that kind of stuff. And to go from that to what we had at the vet, he was like sorely disappointed. He was not happy. So, yeah, I'm very aware of how much better our situation is now that Jeffrey Lurie has done some things and made the organization the way that it is. It's amazing to see, what they do now with it. So very happy from that standpoint. And, teams want to come here and play, or players want to come here and play. Any dates yet, but any games from PFT looking at attending? I usually go to a we have the preseason game, the alumni game. I always do that. I tried to go early last year and shoot content, but I couldn't stream anything because the connection was so iffy while I was out there, so that didn't work. But I did shoot some stuff. I'll definitely do that when they have the alumni day. Go back down there, and I get there early and just walk around the stadium and just shoot a ton of crap, ton of content, man. I have fun with it. But I might try to do another game if I can manage to get them to let me into the FanDuel room. Man, I'll definitely do that again. That was incredible. I would go to the stadium and watch the game from the FanDuel little thing that they got in the stadium. That place is incredible. That's where we had the meet and greet for the alumni day. Was in the FanDuel room. Basically, it's like a nightclub. Got a big bar. Got a place for food. Got a downstairs, upstairs, and a bajillion TVs in there. And that's where when you see the video footage of the players walking into the stadium, when they walk past that glass, it's like a bunch of like glass windows, and you'll see people sitting inside. That's the FanDuel room, so they can look at when the players are walking down the tunnel to the locker room. So, yeah, man, it's Bally's behind Fuddruckers. Yes, we did, man. we used to go up there because there was a lot of guys that lived in Echelon. There was a lot of like players that lived in that area, lived in them apartments. So we used to go. There used to be some guys at the Bally's. I lived up in Mount Laurel, so it was guys down in Echelon, up in Mount Laurel. I know Randall had a house in Mount Holly, so they was all kind of in that area. Voorhees, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I used to go to Bally's. My wife used to go to Bally's. I used to go Meet my wife up at Bally's. She used to teach aerobics and stuff up there. So yeah, man, I'm very familiar with that area, dude. The Fuddruckers. I don't think Fuddruckers is there anymore. So, but yeah, man, back in the day, bro. But yeah, man, it's nice that our organization is at that level now. Yo, Cody K, I think one of the things that I'm going to do this season is I know they usually have a alumni day at camp where the alumni can come and just watch practice. And then they have the alumni game where it's a preseason game. And then we walk out on the field and all of that kind of stuff. I still got footage from that the last time I did that. So yeah, I got to put all of that together in a piece, man. That would be some good intro footage, man. I gotta get on the ball, bro. Been messing around too much. I've been so busy putting out content that I haven't put together. I put together the intro and the looping, stream starting soon and all that kind of stuff. I did all of that stuff, but I need to put together a proper intro. I'm trying to get with this dude to put some 3D stuff. I want to create a 3D intro, and eventually, when I ever get around to it, I'm going to create a nice little 3D background so it looks halfway decent. So I don't have to have these generic backgrounds. Although I do like this background with all of the teams. I'm still mad that the Eagles aren't on there, or am I covering them up or something? I don't know. But yeah, Cody K, did we take a picture? That was at the preseason game. I think, yeah, I remember. I think I still got that on tape, man. Because I still got a lot of stuff on tape, man. I got to put my we did a whole tour of NFL films. Yeah, I remember you down there, man. I definitely remember that, bro. I know I got that on tape. I got so much content I didn't even put out yet. I got the NFL films trip. Man, listen. If you guys know me, Jason knows this, because me and Jason worked together for a couple years. But I'm a nerd. I'm into the games. I'm into the graphics and all of that kind of stuff. Went to see The Matrix 3 times, and like, I'm that dude. So I'm into that, 3D animation and stuff like that interests me. So when I see an opportunity, one of the guys that I follow on YouTube is a legitimate, he does stuff for commercials and games and all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to get him to help me create a 3D background in Unreal Engine. That's what I want to do. Create some other stuff, man. And I got some ideas that I put them on paper, but I haven't been able to manifest them yet. And I got to hurry up and get it done because nobody's doing it yet. I can't even say what it is. Yo, that's where I went to see it. Were you at the Val? You worked at the AMC off of the White Horse Pike? That's where I went to see it. That's where I went to see it. I remember that. I remember seeing. I think we were going to see. I was with a friend of mine. Okay, you were on 73. Gotcha. Okay. You were at Marlton. Gotcha. What did I see in Marlton? I can't remember. We used to go up there all the time too, because my wife used to work up in that area. So, but yeah, man, I go up there, go to Whole Foods, give me some sushi. You know how we do. So, I saw it. I think we went to see Star Wars, and then I saw the trailer and this was before trailers were on YouTube. So yeah, man. You just bought a computer with NVIDIA in it. One of these days, I'll set up my other camera so I can show you my PC. I got one of these PCs with all the crazy colored fans, and I got an NVIDIA 3080 RTX and the colored lights and all that kind of stuff. I got a water cooler with a digital display, so I always have the Eagles logo on it. I need to get another water cooler because I want to change this because initially I bought this water cooler because I was supposed to be able to do like little animations. And I had all of these animations that I wanted to do with the Eagles, but it only shows static images. So I kept it, and. So that's the topic for another day, Don Vaughn. I'm not getting into that here. But yeah, man, we're gonna put some stuff together, man. But yeah, y'all got me on a rant, bro. One of the things that I did want to get into, let's at least finish on football. So the guys I was looking at just to focus on, well, the first thing was Howie's draft. The fact that we were able to get Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. How we could do that. Now here's NBC. Here is their top 10 cornerbacks. This came out weeks before the draft. You got Terrion Arnold ranked number 1, Quinyon Mitchell number 2, Kool-Aid McKinstry number 3, Nate Wiggins number 4, Cooper DeJean 5, TJ Tampa 6, Ennis Rexstraw 7, and Kamari Lassiter 8. Now, when you go to another one, this is the PFF big board for the DBs. Cooper DeJean is 1, Quinyon Mitchell is 2, Terrion Arnold 3, Nate Wiggins 4, Kool-Aid 5, Mike Sanderstil, cornerback from Michigan, he's ranked 6th. Ennis Rexstraw is 7, TJ Tampa's 8, Kamari Lassiter 9, and Andrew Phillips from Kentucky is 10. And I say that because everybody's scouting report was different. Some people had DeJean, some people had Terrion, some people had Quinyon Mitchell, but on somebody's board at some point in time, Cooper DeJean was number 1 and or Quinyon Mitchell was number 1. And we got both of them. So for Howie to do that, it's incredible. Now, I got notes on that dude. I got notes on what's his name? Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson. It was Shipley, Jalen. Oh, where'd he go? I had notes on him. Where did he go? Johnny Wilson has, I believe, one of the biggest wingspans in the draft ever. Now, mind you, not the biggest, because I think Jalen Hunt is a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. But I think he's got the wingspan. I think Wilson's got the wingspan on. But I've been hearing a lot of the obvious comp with him is Harold Carmichael, the GOAT. So that's just because he's tall. Harold Carmichael was 6'8", and back at that time in the 70s when Harold Carmichael played, nobody had ever seen a wide receiver that tall and that fast. So he definitely had the advantage. It's a shame it took him so long to get in the Hall of Fame, but he's in. Now, if they could only let Eric Allen in, that's a whole nother conversation. But there have been some nitpicks with his hands. He's got huge hands. He's got a 10-inch wingspan from, Speaking of which, how big is that? So I'm like 8.5, maybe. That's my wingspan for my hands. So I'm 8.5. So he's like 10.5. That is huge. So he's got some mitts that can go up. And like we were talking, yeah, Jason, I saw that. I saw that in a couple of reports that he's not as disciplined in catching the ball. Catches the ball a lot with his body. And that comes from he probably developed into a receiver late in the game. And he's one of those players where all of the years that he played football, obviously he was the tallest player on the field, and people were probably scared to hit him. And he was probably scared to get hit because when you're in high school, was he a late bloomer? Like when did he hit 6'7"? Because some people, they were 5'10" in high school, and all of a sudden you get a growth spurt late. But this kid hit 6'7", so I'm gonna guess, like in high school and stuff like that, he probably wasn't very heavy. So, if you got a good hit on him, you probably fold him in half. So usually guys like that, they don't tend to catch with their hands, because when you're young and in high school, when you catch with your hands, you got a tendency to do this, to catch with your hands, and it leaves all of this open. And if you've ever taken a shot in your ribs, in your back, in your stomach, it only takes one time to know you don't want that to happen again. So when you're young, you catch the ball with your body so you can protect yourself. And as you grow, it looks like nobody ever taught him to high point the ball. I mean, he can do that now, but you got to learn that when you're younger. As big as his hands are, there's no reason why a guy that big should have problems catching the ball with his hands. So we'll see what our coaches can do with that. And I guarantee you, it's not the first time he's heard this. Guarantee you. So he knows what he needs to work on. Be on that jugs machine, taking the jugs machine 65 miles an hour from like 5 yards away. And he just needs to catch the ball with his hands and just get his fingers, just callous them. Get him used to catching that ball so you can catch the ball anywhere one-handed catches. That's what all them guys do now. They get on that jugs machines and they practice catching one-hand catches, popping their fingers out of joint, all of that kind of stuff, and they get used to it. You should see the stuff that Chris Carter used to do. It's ridiculous because his hands were so big. He used to bend his thumb all the way back and bend his fingers, widen his fingers on purpose, and damn near pop them out of sock. He used to do crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Yo, I'm Jason. You already know, dude. Put that joker in red zone, and every time you throw on the ball, he's going up to dunk with two hands. Make that happen. So, we'll see what's going to happen. So we got some pieces on the puzzle, man. We got some pieces on the board, and I'm really excited to see what Kellen Moore is going to do with it all. So we got a chance to be incredible on offense, and I don't see any reason why we can't be. Cam Jurgens is ready to go. Cam Jurgens could have started last year, but Jason wanted to come back for that last year. So we should be ready in the situation we are in. And again, I'm expecting our offense and our defense to be much better. Our offense is going to be deadly. Our defense, it all comes down to what Devin White does and what Nakobe Dean does, because it looks like it's going to be Devin White, Nakobe Dean, and Zach Baum. So we got to see. Nobody really knows what you're going to get out of Zach Baum, but I remember when TJ Edwards came on the scene, that people were not happy about that. And TJ Edwards, the only thing he did was just get out there and make tackles. So I think Hurts is going to be fine, dude. I don't think people understand Jalen Hurts his knee was jacked up. His knee was jacked up. You go look at like game 6, 7, 8, around there, and then you look at when we played Seattle, and you look at how he ran, how he was running the ball. So Jalen was messed up. Jalen's knee was jacked up, in my opinion. Burks, Huff. The defense is going to be – it's question marks on defense, but I think we're in a better spot than we were at the end of last year. So that's why I'm high on our defense. And our secondary went from tatters to terrific, because our secondary is going to be tight right now. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Avonte Maddox, Quinyon Mitchell's going to start. I don't know what they're going to do with Cooper, because I would think Cooper DeJean should start, because you got 2 top picks, but Cooper DeJean is a second-round pick. So I don't know how they're going to do with that. Bradbury's most likely going to be out of here. So they got to make room for him. Isaiah Rodgers, he ain't no scrub. So our secondary is good. I still say our linebackers are still the question mark because I still don't think we have enough depth at linebacker. So if Nakobe Dean goes down, who's his backup? We can't be in the situation that we were in last year. I forgot all about Zach. I forgot all about him. Them rooms are loaded, man. Them rooms are loaded. The competition level this year is going to be off the charts. And the only thing I'm hoping for is for Nick Sirianni to have a physical camp. And for some reason, I don't think that's going to happen because I look at what Detroit did last year, and that just set the tone. We have got to set the tone to be there. Trot, I want to see Trot play, but he's a rookie. That's the only thing. He's a rookie. So I'm hoping Vic Fangio will have a better understanding of what these guys can do. I think Trot's going to be a good linebacker. I think Trot's going to be better than Nakobe Dean. You know what I mean? So we'll see what's going to happen. Nakobe Dean's still a little bit, he's giving up too much weight. But, I want to see what the combine said. What did the combine say for Trot? What was his height and weight at the combine? That's what I want to see. Because I know at some days when he was with Clemson, they had him at 210. Does anybody see what his stats are? I'm trying to find them. $228. Because he can't play at 210. He'll get 8 up. So 220, 229, 6 foot, 229, 228 or whatever. And Nakobe Dean, they got Nakobe Dean as listed as 231, but he's like 5'10", ain't he? He played pretty well when he was on the field, but he just wasn't on the field. Yeah, Nakobe Dean is 5'11", 231. They got him listed. So I would imagine that Trotter's going to put on a little weight. But it depends on how they play him. And, again, this ain't the first time that he's had these conversations. I'm sure somebody told him that maybe he was too small or something like that when he was at Clemson. But the only thing he did was get out there and ball. So you got to understand that, Devontae Smith, they told him he was too small. And he goes to Bama and just wrecks shop against the best of the best in the country. So, just put him on the field and let him do it. So we'll see. And also, not for nothing, man, Trotter's, his football IQ's got to be through the roof. Because, he been being coached since he understood that was his dad he was watching on television. You can't avoid that. That's why Jalen Hurts is so good. Because the way his dad coached him. So it should be good. I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So, but we've been rocking for about an hour and 30, hour 35. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Good time talking to everybody. Don Vaughn, Jason 88s, S Blunt. Who else did we forget? Cody K was in the building. Cody K was first out the limo, man. Yeah, man. Anybody, make sure you subscribe, please. Hit that notification bell. Because I think I'm gonna try to go live every day this week. I'm trying to get a week where I go live every day. The reason why I'm going so late is because I'm trying to initiate some conversation from people on the left coast. So people out in there's a lot of fans, Eagles fans on the West Coast. So trying to tap into that a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get up on out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for joining me. And we're gonna try to do this thing again tomorrow. Check my socials because that's where I put up notices of what my schedule is gonna be. So we'll keep it moving. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate every one of y'all being part of the Pro Fan family. It is all good in the hood, man. So you guys have a good night and check the socials. I'll let you know about tomorrow night. If not, definitely on Wednesday. So live at lunch. If you don't know, live at lunch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 12:10 to about 12:50. Because I work from home. So when I go on my lunch break, I go live. And then I go for about 40 minutes. That gives you plenty of time to finish your lunch, wash your hands, and clock back in. And that's how we do. We keep it moving. So I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. And do me a favor, bring a friend. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Go Birds.